Welcome to this video, Growing Your Fan Base Lesson 4, Creating a Fan Email Capture Page Part 2, ConvertKit Landing Page Setup. Now that we have our account set up, we need a place for fans to go. So remember, there's steps to this capture sequence, and the first thing is basically have a QR code for people to scan that goes to an email capture page. So we're going to actually set both of those things up, a QR code and an email capture page during this video. So let's set up our landing page to get fan info. All right, so here I am over at the landing page in form signups. Basically, that's just under Grow and then landing pages and forms. And then you're going to just click Create New. What you probably want to do in this one is create a landing page. So click Landing Page. And then it's going to give you some templates, which is really nice. There is a couple about music here. This one actually has music, but it's going to ask you to put a video in. So if you don't have a video, I wouldn't use that one. There's another one that's down here. It looks like an album, like album release. You can go ahead and preview that and maybe choose that. It's pretty easy to edit these things. So I'm just going to hit choose. And basically what you're going to do is you can edit anything. So you can change the background. You can add a new photo. You can make it a different color. So if you just want the background to be black, you can change it to black or really black. You can change the name, obviously. You replace that with a logo. So that's a logo for Alicia Boston, whoever that is. Maybe your incentive is that you're giving away something absolutely free. So what you would do is explain it in the landing page. So unreleased track, for example, and you say download name of track, whatever it is. And then here, instead of saying sign up to be notified about the release, blah, 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 you might say get your, and actually, before we go forward, I'm going to change the color of that text so we can actually see it. Color, so we'll make it white. Then I might change and say something like, get exclusive access to our only, and if this is for a band perhaps, so our only unreleased track to date. And then you might put that name of the track in there again. Just enter your email address below. And then you can actually put name and email or whatever you want. So if you want to add another field, you can add custom field and then hit first name. Now, again, you can change the font colors to like white or whatever so they're easier to see. One thing about this that I'm not a super fan of is that the only other way to add more, so like you can't get a last name, for example, you can do a custom field and do a tag. So you will want to do this if you're trying to discern them for different things, right? So like if you want them to pick from a label or a drop down or check boxes, and labels might be like new track, whatever, but like they would then be able to select it from a drop down. For landing pages, you generally don't want to do this because you don't want them to be able to select why they're there. You just want this particular page to know exactly why they're there. So unfortunately, the only two pieces of information you're going to get are their first name and their email address. Now, you can get other things like their city and stuff from other forms that you can set up, but for landing pages through ConvertKit, you just can't get extra information, unfortunately, right now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one and just remove it. So then you just hit delete field right here. And then instead of putting subscribe, I don't really like to say subscribe, and you can change the color of this as well to whatever you want. I would just actually change it to something like get and then name of track now. So right when they're like, everything's basically saying, go get this track. So when you have them scan that QR code, it's going to take them to this page, right? So that's exactly what you want to happen. Now, there's a couple other things you want to do before you actually publish this and start using it. Under settings, you want to change some things. So, for example, when it says, like, where do they go after subscribing? Do you want to send them to a success page that basically says, success, now you check your email to confirm your subscription? Probably not, because that's a waste of an actual redirect. You can actually send them to another link. You could send them to a Google form that asks them to enter more information. Remember how I said you can't get their city, their last name, or anything like that? You could actually have them fill out a complete fan profile, and it can ask them more about themselves. So like, where do they live? What kind of music do they like? What's their favorite album of yours? Or whatever you want to know, just so that way you can get more information other than what ConvertKit actually allows. So I would highly recommend creating a redirect to a form, and you can just use Google Forms that will ask them more information about that stuff. And you can actually even then re-upload that Google form. You can download it as a spreadsheet and upload it to ConvertKit, and it'll actually, create a bigger profile with more advanced information into their subscriber information on ConvertKit as well. Again, under the domain name, you can click whatever you want. This is obviously the DIY Rock Career page, so that's the domain. I can click that and then put in whatever I want. So this would be, email capture or something like that, or whatever you want, or lead magnet, or incentive, whatever. New track, you can put that in there. So basically, when it says send an incentive email, that's going to send them an email directly right after they subscribe with the redirect of the URL or the download. So if you have, for example, it's on a private SoundCloud link, you'd put that private SoundCloud link in here and then update that. If it's a download, you come over here and upload it through like a WAV file or MP3 or whatever, and you'd put it in there, and then they could actually download it through their email. I would highly recommend sharing things over a shareable URL, though, so that way they can download it from that URL. Or maybe you don't even want them to download it. Maybe you just want them to stream it, so they can stream it from that URL. Other things here I wouldn't pretty much worry about. So like the advanced part, it's just telling them when they come back to this, do you want to show the form or not? That doesn't really matter. As well as the SEO and analytics. If you have an analytics account through Google or Facebook business tag or something like that, that you want to put them on and get a tag for them, so that way you can track them across other assets, like, if they're shopping on your site or just going on Facebook and you want to send them retargeting ads, you can put that in here. So you can put that Facebook Pixel ID, the Google Analytics ID, the Google Tag Manager ID, or whatever you want in these forms. So that's pretty much it. I mean, you obviously want to change some of the graphics, some of the logos and stuff, and just make sure that everything that you do is yours, right? So just create a graphic like this and then hit save and publish. So now when you open this through an incognito window, it'll actually show what it looks like. So I didn't change the image here. I didn't change the image here, but basically it has everything else. And then if I actually filled this out, it'd take me to a redirect page, which doesn't exist because I have not created that redirect page yet. You guys actually might have seen some of this. If you've gone through my email sequences, you'll see that it actually does take you to a Google form to ask you what kind of musician you are, what do you play, and all that other stuff. So you might see that more often if you've gone through my email sequences. So now that you actually have this page set up, what you want to do is you basically go through to automate, and then you can create a rule. So what you want to do is you want to copy this, or remember what this page is called. So it's called the Hall landing page here, but remember what you title it. So you might say new track download, or unreleased track download, or whatever, or, sign up incentive, something like that, whatever you want to call it. But then you go to rules and you're going to create a rule. So when they actually hit new rule, when they actually subscribe to a landing page or a form, whatever, I think it comes up under here. And yeah, you'll see Hall landing page here. So when they actually hit that landing page and subscribe, you're going to add a tag to that. So for all those users, you're going to create a new tag and you're going to call it unreleased track incentive sign up, or something to that effect. You're going to call it that. And then you're going to hit save rule. And that way, every time somebody comes to that landing page, they're going to be tagged through that thing, so that way you know exactly how to contact them later. This is highly important that you do this part, because if you don't tag them with something, then you won't be able to send them follow-up emails, and it'll just go to everybody on your list. You don't want that to happen. You want it to be specifically for this purpose. So now that we have the landing page and the tag created, what we need to do is create the QR code, because that's the easy way to get people to join. Basically have a QR code to scan at shows, or scan in general, or even just send them to a link. The link is actually a QR code, and a QR code is a link. It's just a scannable link, right? So let's talk about how to do that. So let's go over to QR Code Monkey, and I'll show you how to do that there. All right, so here's QR Code Monkey. And this is basically it's free. I mean, they'll probably charge you if you actually don't do this way that I'm going to show you. But basically all you got to do is copy and paste your URL for that landing page and paste it right in here. So then what you can do is you can set your colors, you can do whatever you want, And you can also add a logo image in here. So like I can upload an image. So for example, I've got the DIY rock career, so I can upload that image. And then I can just hit, so now that I've got the content, so the link, and I've got the logo, you can customize the design further if you want, doesn't really matter. And then you just hit create QR code. And you'll see it actually puts my logo in the middle and creates a QR code. You don't have to download this. I think it's probably going to charge you. Yeah, so it'll get you to sign up or do something. But basically all you even have to do is just zoom in, and all you have to do that is hit Control and then the plus button on your keyboard. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to get as big as a resolution as possible. And then you just open a snipping tool on your computer. And this is Windows 10. If you have a Mac, whatever it is to increase your tab size, and then also whatever screenshot tool you have. And then I'm just going to hit new, and I'm just going to go ahead and trim this out. And then you just save that. So save as, and then whatever you want to call it. That's the QR code. You could actually scan that and it'll go to that landing page right now. So that's how you would actually get people to scan it with their phone, and you can print that out and put it on anything that you have on your table. You could have it on your, merch table. You could have it on anything. You could even post it on your site or tell people to go to it and, whatever. But essentially you can also use that same link, that link for that download page on your, link tree on your website, whatever, and just say, go download an unreleased track now. And then when they do that, basically they'll get signed up to your email list. So that's pretty much all you have to do on QR Code Monkey is make sure that you get that, that QR code built out, and it's free to do because you can just zoom in and then snip it and then save it. So it'll be just fine that way. Now that we've got our landing page, our tags, and our QR code ready, we're just going to go ahead and take those actions. So create a ConvertKit landing page for your fans so that way they can go there and submit their email address. Make sure to tag them based on the action that got them there. So if it's for an unreleased track or behind the scenes footage or a live music performance or a new music video or whatever it is, make sure you put that in the name and tag them as them taking that action for that thing, right? Then also create your QR code in QR Code Monkey and save it or print it out and use it later so that way people can actually scan it with their phones. You'll also want to save that link, put that in a handy place because you'll be putting up things like your link tree, maybe your website. I'm using it as a form somewhere as later, so just make sure you have that handy as well.